In June, Lindsey Graham and I started talking about, hey, this is a problem, not just in this moment in history, this moment in time, but for the long term, that if you have a president that's under investigation or has principal members of their team being indicted, that president should have a common sense check and balance on their ability to fire a special counsel. It just makes sense that you should have checks and balances, that you shouldn't have a president that can be above the law or that could obstruct justice. So this is just a very common sense, pragmatic idea. Lindsey and I started working on it. Tom Tillis and Chris Coons came up with their version. We've now married the versions, and I'm very excited that Chuck Grassley understands that this is a bill of merit, not only for now, but in the ages, and has not only held hearings on it, but now tomorrow, I hope, is going to go forward and mark this bill up and vote it out of committee.
What do you think's changed? That it seemed there was a sort of a lot of interest last summer. I remember covering this. I think we may have even had you on to talk about it. That interest waned. It sort of seemed stalled. If you'd asked me to bet on whether it was going to get a vote in committee, I would have said no. What's changed?
I think that there's a lot of folks of good conscience saying, look, we've now seen at least two separate occasions where we're hearing reports that the president was going to move to fire Mueller. We've seen consistence with his behavior, that it can be impulsive, that it could be unpredictable. I think that we need this good backstop for our democracy as opposed to lurching us into a constitutional crisis. So I think sober minds see this as not an indictment of the president, but as a sign of the times and something that we're worried about, and a responsible thing for us to do as stewards of the republic, as stewards of our democracy. And look, I want to state it plain. Clearly, there are Republicans now that are worried that this eventuality might happen, and I think that's why we're getting good people of good heart and good nature stepping up to say, let's just do some things to create an insurance policy against a constitutional crisis.
Isn't Mitch McConnell just going to put this bill in the part of his office where he stored the Merrick Garland nomination?
I think that is a well-earned skepticism might say that, but this is something that I think is gaining momentum, and I think that Mitch McConnell is within his rights to say and do what he's doing right now, but he's also within his rights to change his mind. And as we get more bipartisan support, as more activism happens around the country, and as Trump continues with the kind of bluster that we've been seeing, here's a president that has been undermining the special counsel, attacking his integrity, undermining the investigation. I think that at some point people are going to have to choose from a tribalism party politics between that and sort of a faithfulness to their country and our institutions. And I'm hoping that Mitch McConnell will come around. But right now we're step by step. We wrote a bill. We got the bill hearings. We've got the bill now ready to go into committee. Every step of the way, as you yourself said, people didn't think we could make it the next step. I have a feeling that we might be able to get this to the floor.
Do you think the president's a criminal?
Look, I'm one of those folks that says, let's go where the evidence leads. And right now we have a special counsel that is doing a thorough investigation. Let's not get ahead of our skis. Let's make sure we support the special counsel's investigation. If the president, like he says, he has nothing to worry about, he should be backing off on the rhetoric, backing off on the things he's doing to undermine the investigation, and let it take its course. And then let's draw our conclusions from the evidence that's gathered. I think it's politically perilous the way we are throwing things around and getting ahead of this investigation. I think we need to let this prosecutor, let the special counsel rather, do their job and draw our conclusions after the evidence comes forward.
Is that a reference to talk of impeachment? We say politically perilous?
Yeah, I think that we undermine our position as Democrats if we are reaching out now for impeachment, which is just going to whip up more of the political divisions, the political debates. And I know I'll take criticism for that, but that's okay. We need to have sober minds, fact-based conclusions, conclusions drawn from evidence that's presented. If we protect the special counsel, especially, this investigation is going to come to a conclusion, and there are going to be facts, and we can base our actions based upon those facts.
All right, Senator Cory Booker, I'll let you get back to your event. Thank you for making some time tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, for more on the threats to the Justice Department's independence, I'm joined by two former federal prosecutors, Jennifer Rogers, who worked in the same U.S. Attorney's Office that is investigating Michael Cohen, and Harry Litman, former U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Pennsylvania, who also worked at the DOJ. Let me start with you. I mean, the president very pointedly didn't say, no, I'm not going to fire them. They're fine and I'm innocent. He could have said that.
He could have, but he likes to keep us guessing, of course. And, if he flat out said, I'm going to do it, I'm going to fire him, then, maybe they hurry up and pass this bill, and then that puts some impediments in his way.
Or if he said, I'm not going to do it, stop worrying. I mean, what he said was this very kind of coy, like, you keep saying it and they're still there. But he could have said, no, I'm not. They're going to do their job.
Yeah, of course. And the White House has said that before. Sarah Sanders had said that before. Now she's kind of backing off of that, which is getting some people nervous.
Harry, I want to ask about some of there's all these sort of machinations happening as we're watching this sort of bear down. One of them is that Adam Schiff is introducing a pardon bill. He's introducing legislation to prevent abuse of presidential pardons, which I understand the impulse, particularly as there's some evidence that perhaps the president might be dangling them, or some fear at least he might be dangling them in front of people that could incriminate him. But does that have a chance? Is that even constitutional?
DOA, the pardon power is plenary. It's a very interesting theory, by the way.